Hey everyone, it's Tom Seymour with VHS Massacre. I don't always review video games, but when I do, they are retro video games. I'm taking a look at the Evercade Renovation 1 collection. Evercade is a very cool new handheld and home gaming system. It comes in two versions, you know, one for your home and then one actually two different handhelds, though. They're discontinuing the one I have, which is, I believe you could still get it for $99, which is amazing. And it comes with 2 or 3 volumes of games. But then there's the, I think it's called the EXP version, which is also very good. It's $150, but it comes with 20 Capcom games. Amazing games. Games that you would want come internally built into the system. So like Final Fight, Street Fighter 2, you know, I mean, it's a great deal. I can see upgrading down the road. So anyway, I've been a really big fan of the system, mostly because there's a real amazing curation of games. So this is the Renovation collection. This first game's called Arcus Odyssey from 1991. This is like an action RPG. And I didn't really get into this one that much because I was playing the other ones in depth quite a bit. But this is something I can always go back to, which is amazing because there's a number of games on this cartridge. Beast Wrestler. This one I was expecting to have a lot more fun with. I love the graphics, the sort of early Genesis graphics. It's funny, Amiga games and early Genesis games seem to have a lot in common. They're doing very creative things. You know, Beast Wrestler I thought was pretty cool. Dino Land is pinball. It's a pretty mediocre pinball. I don't like video game pinball machines, pinball games that much. There's a few called like Devil's Crush for TurboGrafx 16 is phenomenal, and there's one called Alien Crush which is decent too. Okay, El Viento. This is sort of a side-scrolling platformer type game. Pretty cool game. Of the games on here, there's a game called Valis. I think there's 2 of them, and I actually prefer the Valis game slightly more. Okay, Exile. This game, this is the Genesis version, but it came out for TurboGrafx 16 CD. I remember because I just had the TurboGrafx system and I didn't have the CD because it was crazy expensive. And by the time I got it, it was already a bit old. And so I basically have been waiting to play this version. I've been waiting to play Exile. And I never realized it came out on Genesis. So this is, I believe, the Genesis port of Exile. And they're fairly comparable, although I think the music for TurboGrafx is obviously a little more, you know, CD quality and whatnot. So, you know, sort of like, you know, 25 years later, I get to play Exile. And it's not bad. It's a cool action RPG game. You can power up your character pretty easily, so that the boss fights are easy, and there is a bit of traveling back and forth and a little it takes a while to beat. I probably took an hour or 2 more than the average person because you end up going back to different temples and searching around to find the right person to talk to and whatnot. So you know, it's a good game, though. I do recommend it. I like the action RPG thing, and it will cut to these really interesting side-scrolling graphics as well. So recommend that. Final Zone 1990. This is okay. I love the isometric view. There's something about this isometric view that made all these games appear to be, you know, 3D. And so there's something really magical about it, and it seemed more advanced than it actually was at the time, you know, rather than a side scroll or something like that. This game in particular, I didn't really have much of a connection to. It was okay. This is Garius, I believe it's called, 1990, side-scrolling shmup, as they might call them. I've never been great at these, so I really haven't. I don't attach to many of them. I remember Trevor McFur, Crescent Galaxy for the Jaguar. I remember Raiden and a couple other ones that were pretty amazing. This game, what was this one called? Granada, 1990. Yeah, this is another one I played around for a bit. This one's actually pretty fun. But you know, it can be repetitious. And Soul Dees, it's interesting because there was one called Soul Feast, and then I'm not sure if this is a sequel, but this must be part of that series, and if it is, then it's a pretty well respected side-scrolling shoot 'em up series. So this is probably one of your better ones on the cart. We'll have to keep looking. Tracia, 1991. This is another RPG. It looks like a little bit of Chrono Trigger feel to it. This looks like a Genesis port. This one I really did not explore that much, but it's another one. Again, it's really good to have this Renaissance collection, because you can keep going back to these things. Like, oh, I didn't beat this one, I could try this one again. Valis, the Phantasm Soldier, 1991. I was amazed how much I loved these Valis games. I was really surprised. I did not expect to like them, but there's just a simplicity and an ease with the controls and the stages. Valis 2, 1991. This is also a great one. And, you know, with the save states, you don't have to smash your head against the wall. If you keep saving, you can beat these. So maybe, you know, you're casually playing 10, 20 minutes here and there, and, you know, it takes you a week and you beat one game, and you take a week and you beat the other game. So I found that to be really, really very cool. So that is the Renovation Collection. For me personally, the highlights were the Valis games and Exile, and I'm sure other people are out there that are thinking like, "Whoa, those are the ones I like the least," you know. But that's kind of that's what I thought of this. So again, Evercade, incredible handheld system for the price, and really you cannot beat the volumes of games. They're very carefully curated, and you could literally just bring, you know, think about it, and you throw it in your bag. It's very portable. It's obviously smaller than a Switch, you know, and just fits right in your pocket. But just slightly thicker than a cell phone, but about the same size. And then you're playing games on the go, and you really only need to grab one cartridge at a time, you know, whatever you're in the mood for. There's another collection, I believe it's Codemasters, and it's got Cannon Fodder, which is an incredible one as well. So the amazing thing about these cartridges is they're typically only $20. If they're discontinued, they seem to turn these into legacy cartridges, meaning when they sell out of a run of them, they don't seem to be putting out those exact ones. Those prices can creep up $5 or $6, so you're paying $26, $27 for a cart US, if it's something that they're no longer printing. But that's what makes it collectible and interesting. And ideally, I'd be able to play these games 10 years from now, like, you know, as long as they don't do some weird software update on the handheld where it breaks everything. Then the idea is I own a library of these games, and they look great on a shelf. The first version is sort of that dark red, that sort of Master System type spine, so it really has a nice retro feel to it, and you know, I'm really enjoying the system. So yeah, that's about it for now. If you're interested in these videos, I did the Amiga cart coming out, did a look at those games, as well as Commodore Collection version 2, volume 2, and then what was the other one? I think it was a Pico Collection 3. Anyway, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.